Scrub a dub dub, what's in the tub? What's going on, my scrub subscribers? Ace here. I am here with my CCL Season 2 Round 8 match against Woot, the head coach of the Azalea Aggrons. And this match is such a difficult match for me to do because this match had me so nervous. Wyatt is such a great battler. He has an amazing team. He built such a great core for his team, and then just has great offensive mons to kind of complement it. So I was really nervous for this match. He is also 6-1, so he's right behind me in rankings. I am 7-0, so he's 6-1 right behind there. And the only match he lost was to Jakib, and that was a close match for him, even though he was hacked throughout most of that match. So that's a testament to how well Wyatt plays. But I was coming to this match, confident, but still nervous because, I knew it was going to be close. I knew this match was going to be a very difficult one for me, and I was corrected. It's a very difficult match. So I was looking over at his team, which is composed of Mesprit, Aggron, which I expect to be Mega Aggron, because realistically, him bringing a regular Aggron doesn't make sense. Like I said in the team builder, Mega Aggron outclasses Aggron in every way. There's nothing that you can do with a regular Aggron that you can't do with Mega Aggron better. Just because of the filter ability and the boosted defenses. Just realistically, Mega Aggron outclasses completely. He brought the Goodra as well. The Nidoking, which is a problem for my team if I don't play around it correctly. If things go down early, like the Blastoise and I guess the Excadrill go down early, then I'll have a lot of problems against that because it does get access to Sucker Punch, which blows away Lottie. Well, not with the investment that I have. I can take one. Because I do have the Cobra Berry and I have the nice defenses on that. I have the HP investment to live 1 from full, and I have the Cobra Berry as well, just in case he takes my item with a trick or something like that. But either way, then he also brought the Clefable and the Entei. So as you guys can see, he did bring his Fairy Steel Dragon Core, which is going to be super annoying to get through. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I think that my team really matched up well against the Clefable. I felt well prepped for that because I have my 2 steel types. I also have a fire type which swatches into Moonblast, and then I have a poison type which just completely outwalls Clefable, and I have the taunt on it well, and it's a little bit faster. I have the investment in speed just so I can outspeed the Clefable, and I outspeed the Aggron as well because Aggron is hella slow. But yeah, looking at his team, I was like, okay, realistically, my best 2 leads are the Latias and the Excadrill, simply because Excadrill blows away pretty much everything on his team, except for the Aggron. Doesn't one-hit KO that. And maybe if he's invested in the Goodra and max HP or something like that, or if he's bulky Mesprit, then Excadrill can't blow that away with an Earthquake. Obviously, Mega Aggron is the only thing that will take the least amount of damage from an Earthquake from Excadrill. And because I'm Jolly, I wasn't confident that I could one-shot everything guaranteed, depending on if he had weird spreads or something like that. To give you guys perspective, Jolly, Mold Breaker, Earthquake, which negates its filter on Mega Aggron, only does 44%, which wasn't, up to what I was, wanting. So I felt, my best lead is probably just lead off with the Lotus, because I can get off a Surf against most of his team, and then Draco hits pretty much everything else. And if he brings Clefable, I'm so well prepped for it that I didn't really feel that was, a bad matchup against my Latias. And if he leads off with the Aggron, I can just Reflect type up, and I'm in a good position. So that's what I decided to lead with. Wyatt is issuing the challenge here, so I lead off with my Latias, Young Color. And he brings out his Entei, which I was like, this is fantastic. The Sacred Fire is resisted here. I can obviously go for a Surf here and get off a decent amount of damage, probably around 75%, because I am max special attack. So I go for the Surf here, and he is definitely either Assault Vest or max special defense, because that did a lot less than I thought it would. It only did 40%, which I was like, holy crap, that did nothing. And now here, I just went for another Surf because there's no reason not to go for Surfs. He misses a Sacred Fire on that first turn, which is pretty fortunate for me. But realistically, it wasn't going to do much against me because Latias resistant and it's so bulky. I go for the Draco here just to get off a lot of great damage against this Mesprit. Because I don't really expect him to retaliate with anything that's going to hit me for too much damage. He goes for the U-turn, but I know I can take this pretty well just because I am a Latias. So it does right around 20%, and I'm like, okay, I'm in a good position here. This is fine. I have the lowered special attack, so I'm kind of meh here. But he brings out the Aggron here, and I was like, okay, this is the time for me to kind of show off my move here of Reflect type, just so that I can get the Reflect type off here, because I'm expecting him to be his common curse set with the Avalanche, specifically for this Lottie. especially the way he brought it in. So I'm just going to Reflect type up here so I can wall that kind of moveset. and bring myself to become a Steel type. And he goes for the Stealth Rocks here on my Reflect type. And I was like, okay, here, I want to kind of scout what he's going to go for here. So let me just defog up and get these rocks out of here, because I want Rotom to be able to swap in for free. And kind of just wall out things, because that's my obvious next swap in here. So he goes for the Fire Punch here. And that surprised me a little bit, because I didn't expect him to have Fire Punch. I was realistically expecting him to have Earthquake. But I guess Fire Punch makes sense because Durant does resist the Earthquake. I go into Hubba here, my Weezing. Because I felt that like having a taunt here was pretty good, and I can also go for the Will-O-Wisp here, but I'm gonna make a hard double here because I'm predicting his best weapon here is to go into the Entei, predicting me to go for a Will-O-Wisp here. So I kind of make it a hard read, as well as Extension here is in a good position against either a Fire Punch or like a Heavy Slam, Iron Head, or anything like that from the Aggron. So I felt it was in a pretty good position. But I actually make the correct read here, and Wyatt does swap into the Entei here. So I'm putting myself in a really great position here as I come in with the Blastoise. Now he decides to stay in here, maybe thinking that I don't know, maybe he just wanted damage off on this, because he will outspeed me and get off a Sacred Fire here. Right there, he gets off a Sacred Fire and he does land it, and yeah, Sacred Fire does like little tiny damage. He does get the burn, which I mean I can't complain on Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire has 50% chance, so like it's gonna happen either way. But yeah, we get the Water Pulse off here, blow this Entei away, and we are up in this matchup right now, and I'm feeling good. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm in a good position here. I'm really bringing it to Wyatt here. Now I'm kind of debating to see what he'll bring in here, and he brings in the Goodra, and I'm like, okay, I could swap out here, but my best option is here to just fire off a Dragon Pulse and get off hella damage against this thing. As we see, he does like 75%, and I was like, oh boy, it's time. And he substituted up here, which I thought was odd as well, because I felt that the Power Whip was probably the best option there, because then he would kill me. Like guaranteed he's killing me, I'm pretty sure, from this range. But he lets me get the burn damage as well. But he would have been at a higher level of HP if he just killed me with the Power Whip. But yeah, I go for the Dragon Pulse again just to break the sub right here. And the substitute fades here, and he is going to go for the Power Whip as I expected, which is going to kill my Blastoise here. But Blastoise realistically did his job, because Entei is probably the biggest problem against me. And Excadrill is still in a good position here. So I felt, you know, Lottie is my best option here to go into. I was thinking Durant, but I didn't want to play with Hustle. So I felt, you know, just bring in my Lottie and drop a Draco here, because it has a higher accuracy than moves from Durant here. And I can obviously live the Stealth Rocks here. But I do miss my Draco Meteor, which really sucks, and allows him to get off a Substitute. I'm not really sure why he clicked Substitute there, because it didn't really make sense against me. Because, like, if he wanted, like, to do the Draco swap, then he could have just gone for a Dragon Pulse. But I'm just going to go for a defog here, because I want these rocks away, and realistically going for another Draco doesn't really make sense, because it's going to hurt my team more than it's going to help. He goes for the Outrage here, which is like fine by me, because color goes down here, but now I can just bring in one of my two walls in Hubba or the Rotom Heat, and kind of try and break this sub. So I decided I think I go into Rotom Heat here. Yeah, I go into Rotom Heat because I feel that Hubba is kind of more important here. So I just go for the Overheat because I know it's not going to break the sub, but I figure an Overheat plus Volt Switch will end up breaking the sub for me. So I go for the Overheat here. I get the special attack drop. He's going to Outrage here, which I don't anticipate to do much because I am physically defensive. But here he actually gets a crit, and that puts me in a really tough position because I'm like, crap. I obviously, that wouldn't have done nearly as much. That would have only done around 25%, which I would have been fine. I could have just Volt Switched out into like any plethora of one of my mons. But I decided to Volt Switch out here anyway, because I know I'm faster. And I can just go into Hubba here, but that really sucks that he got the crit there, because that limits how much I can use Rotom late game. So I bring in Hubba here, and to take this Outrage, because I know Rotom isn't probably going to take the next one well, and I'd like to have it for just a little bit higher health, for like if I have to swap into the Aggron. And he does get confused here, so that's good for me. Now here I was like, okay, you know, I could go for the Sludge Bomb here, but really I think Hubba is more important here. So what I'm going to do is just allow me to get some Black Sludge recovery here, and then I'm going to swap back into my Rotom here, just trying to see what he'll do, if he'll try and swap out or anything like that. Rotom is just an overall great kind of swap in, and he goes for the Outrage again, or any move that he could have gone for there, and he hits himself in confusion, which is fortunate for me. I get some nice leftovers recovery. I guess that kind of makes up for the crit right there. Well, not quite. It's a little bit less. But here, I'm just going to go for another overheat to try and break his sub. So I go for the overheat here, and this will break his sub guaranteed, just because it's a very high special attack move. And it's not very effective, but it does break the sub, which is awesome for me. And I know at this range he doesn't have enough to make another substitute, so I can just go for a Volt Switch after. But he hits himself in confusion, which kills himself, which is great for me because now that kind of makes up for the crit, I guess you could say. Because I do get the leftovers recovery right here, and I'm about just over half where I would have been if he hadn't gotten the crit. So now he brings in Mesprit here, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like hard Volt Switch here, and I don't anticipate him to go for a Flamethrower against my Rotom Heat, because it doesn't really make sense. I could have just gone for an Overheat there, but I go into round 2 because I felt that this was a great overall swap in against a Psyshock, which I figured he would either go for a Psychic or a Psyshock, which both Durant eats up really well. And I go for a Super Power here in case he wanted to bring in the Aggron here, because I felt, you know, that like that could be a swap in if he was trying to play something cheeky and try and get up some curses against me or something like that, like on an X's or knowing that I'm banded. But yeah, he ends up bringing the Aggron out again, which I don't really like. I didn't understand that much. I figure that he wants to just get this thing gone. I could have gotten like a nice superpower damage here, but I go into my wall here just to kind of scout, because if he does want to double swap into like his Clefable or anything, wall's an overall great option there, and I do resist the Fire Punch as well, so I'm in a good position there. Now I go for the Volt Switch here because I figure that he's going to swap, which he ends up doing. He does swap, and he swaps into his Clefable, and I was like, okay, just Volt Switch here is easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I can go straight into my Weezing here, which basically destroys this Clefable, because I do have the Taunt and I have the Clear Smog, so he can't sit, like, even if he gets to sit up, like if he's at like max speed, Clefable, some odd like set, then like I can get the Clear Smog off. But he goes for the Protect here, just to scout to see what I'm gonna do, which I note that down. I'm like, okay, he has Protect. I just go for the Taunt here because I figure that's what he's gonna. I figured he was gonna go for like a Calm Mind or a Wish or something. And now here I figure he's gonna swap into either Aggron or Nidoking, which he has left. So I go for the Will-O-Wisp just to kind of catch that, and he does go into the Nidoking here. And I get the Will-O-Wisp off, but I do not connect, so that's a little unfortunate for me. But either way, now here I need Weezing too much, so I'm just going to go into my Rotom Heat and kind of stack it off at this point, because it's not doing a great amount for me. And he goes for the Rock Slide here. I guess it's like really his best move to hit me as a Weezing, but that wouldn't have done much either way. But I do see that he is physical. But I decided to go into Crash here, my Excadrill, because I know an Earthquake will blow away a Nidoking, because Nidoking is not bulky enough. I don't know if he's Scarfed or Life Orb, but it seems that he's Life Orb because he didn't. Well, I'm not really sure because I think it's actually a speed tie. Or no, actually, Excadrill might be a little bit faster. I'm pretty sure Excadrill is actually faster, because that's why. Yeah, that's why I did Jolly instead of Adamant. But he brings in the Clef here, and I'm like, okay, this is the most obvious Flamethrower of his life. So I'm just gonna bring in my Weezing here because I know that I can eat this just fine, because it's not a invested Clef because he has Protect, so I know he's more defensive. And now here, I'm just gonna go for the Taunt because I figure he's gonna go for either a Wish or a Calm Mind or something. And I get the Taunt off here, and he tries to go for a Wish, which he can't do. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna Clear Smog here because I want to bait in the Mega Aggron, which is left. I want to get damage off on that because I know that my Excadrill can't 2-hit KO it because it's only 44% max with the Jolly Mold Breaker. And he's just going to go for Flamethrowers here. He's going to say, no, I want to beat you with Aggron, which makes me feel like he has Curse on the Aggron, because like he's waiting and he wants to get the matchup against the Weezing, because he knows he's going to end up dying against this. But he just wants me to get me down low enough where Aggron can just pick off this Weezing with one attack. But yeah, no, I felt that he probably is going to end up going for Curses against his Weezing, as I go for this last Clear Smog. So I'm a little worried about that because I know that Superpower from Durant is vital, and if I miss it with Hustle, I'm in a really bad position because I'm not sure, like if he starts cursing up, then I'm in a really bad position. So like knowing all that, I was like, okay, I really want to Taunt here, and then after I clicked Taunt, I was like, oh crap, actually I should have just Flamethrower, because even if he curses, Flamethrower does a hell of amount of damage against him, even with the filter boost. The Flamethrower was still a great play because Aggron doesn't have really high special defense, and that would have gotten me off some great damage there. So now I have to go against a full HP Aggron with these two. Now it's absolutely vital that I hit the superpower. So I go for the superpower and I connect it here, which does a hell of amount of damage. Right under 50%, maybe. Actually, that might be like smack on 50% right there. But he goes for the Fire Punch here. And that'll easily take down Aron because it's quad effective. There's no way I'm living that from an Aggron base 125 attack. No way. So now I have to bring in Crash here, and I know that I'm not killing him in one hit here with an Earthquake. But I'm gonna go for it anyway. Maybe I can get a crit or like a high enough like something. But no, I don't kill him here, and he actually goes for the Earthquake, and that's gonna do all the way to 11 HP, which actually shows that he isn't he doesn't have any attack investment at all. He's max HP, max special defense, or max defense with like special defense investment, because without the attack investment, he can't take me out there. But I do get the second Earthquake off, and I defeat Wyatt with a nice 1-0 with 11 HP. So that was a hella close match. The Goodra definitely getting up, the substitute on me missing the Draco definitely made that a lot harder for me. If I had not misplayed with my Weezing there and just Flamethrowered, or even Will-O-Wisp just to get damage off, because then the Earthquake would have done less damage to my Excadrill, and Fire Punch would have done less to Durant. I'm pretty sure that Durant still would have died to that Fire Punch regardless, because base 125 attack plus quad effective. But the Earthquake definitely wouldn't have killed, even I think even at like with a crit from full HP, it wouldn't have ended up killing me. So then I wouldn't have been in a lot better position there. But I was just so focused on him, like running the curse set, that I didn't want that to end up happening against me. But still, Flamethrower plus Flamethrower, like 2 Flamethrowers on a curse, basically put him into range where the curses don't matter anymore, because Superpower plus Earthquake just blow him away. But yeah, that was the match against Wyatt. I am now 8-0, and he is 7-2. But that was a really fantastic match against Wyatt. I'm so happy that I ended up winning, but it was so close. You know, GG's to Wyatt, you know, great match. Like, the Hags went both ways, so there's not really either way that any of us can complain. Like, he missed a Sacred Fire first turn, but, you know, I missed a Draco, and he gets up to substitute and takes down half my walls with a crit on the Rotom, and he's just in a fantastic position after that. Then I missed the Willow on the Nidoking, which actually would have, like, it might have preserved my, Rotom with a little more HP and allowed me just to get off more damage on the Nidoking. But actually, that wouldn't matter, because I just brought in, like, Earthquake and blew that thing away, because he couldn't swap the Aggron in against that, realistically. But yeah, no, like I said, either way, the hacks really didn't matter either way, because, like, they kind of evened each other out, which is great for us. But yeah. GG's to Wyatt. Make sure to check out his channel and everything down in the links below, and check out everybody in the CCL. Like, it's definitely getting close. Like I said, you know, everybody is so close that anybody can kind of catch up. You know, if I take a couple of losses or something, people can definitely catch up. But I am currently 8-0. I'm looking to go undefeated. You know, I have no shame in saying that. You know, knock on wood, like, whatever, man. I'm going for it. I want to go undefeated for the rest of the season. I want to win all the way through. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to hit that like button to show your support for your Alabasta Arcanines. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm out of here, guys. Bye-bye.